Seconded by Justin to file IRS Form 1023. Is there any discussion on this motion?
We'll be able to answer that.
I have a question for discussion. Where does the money go to?
The money in the...
Well, I saw a board over here. It says goes to the application fees, goes to whatever bill and fees we have at the bank, whatever the application fee for the 1023 is, and numerous other things, supplies. I'm sorry. Anyway, there's applications to be made. First, we paid up front by generous donors the money for the application for the land transfer, and now we're going to have an application fee for this 1023 here that'll give us the ability to give tax receipts for people who make donations. And of course, all the supplies you see, the board materials and the papers and the pens and the mailing and printing and all that stuff. Oh, here's a list.
Here's the list.
Oh. The board to answer. Oh, I see what you mean. I'm going to come out here and look for it.
Right above.
Mark. Oh, there it is. Bank fees, postage for forms, the IRS, at least $500 for the nonprofit status that we're applying for, printing, bylaws, ballot paper, mailing supplies, etc. Interim board has paid $105 of state fees and all the postage and printing, etc. But it's real.
I want to add on there in case anybody wants to know, the directors are not being paid any fees. This is all voluntary work.
Also, if you picked up a stack of bylaws or a stack of minutes, the paper came from Cookie and Lynn out of their own pockets. The printer was mine, so I paid for printer ink. So if you're wondering where your money goes, hopefully in the future, we'll be able to self-sustain that sort of thing, rather than the 10 of us giving up, you know, our beer money. So that would be greatly appreciated.
This is a registered nonprofit, and there will be monthly financial reports that are available, and there will be an annual financial report that's available to all of the members after the fact. That is after the end of the year and at the end of the month. The motion to file IRS Form 1023 is on the floor. Is there any more discussion on this motion? Court, you ready for the question? All those in favor of filing the IRS Form 1023, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Oh, it's unanimous, so the motion passes. Next motion, 4BII, motion to create a garbage dumpster.
Hey, Christina again. I make a motion that we create a garbage dumpster committee with 2 co-chairs, 1 voting member, 1 director.
So there's a motion on the floor, made by Christina and seconded by Justin, to create a garbage dumpster committee. Is there any discussion on that motion?
I'd like to be on it.
If you're wondering about being on a committee, we do actually have a committee poster up here, so anyone can join the committee. In committee, the committee meets amongst themselves, does research, investigates, and then submits a report to the board with a recommendation. So it's not actually the board that does this, it's you guys telling us what you want. So I strongly encourage you to please be involved with committees and help us do what you want us to do.
There's a motion on the floor to create a garbage dumpster committee. Is there any more discussion on this motion? You ready for the question? All those in favor of creating a garbage dumpster committee, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? So the motion to create a garbage dumpster committee passes unanimously. Next motion to amend, to a committee to amend the articles and bylaws.
Christina Swistag, President. I make a motion that we create a committee which will amend the articles and bylaws with 2 co-chairs, one being a voting member, one being a director.
It is a motion on the floor to create a committee to amend the articles and bylaws, seconded by Jen, made by Christina. Is there any discussion on this motion?
Maybe I should say, no, I know, this is the same thing. Here's the thing, there are certain,
Use a mic.
maybe I should have Lynn tell you the details, because I don't know the specific ones that as well as she does. But there are mistakes made in the wrong word used here, something left out there that we want to patch up in the bylaws, and that's what we're talking about right here. So just so you know, we're not changing anything.
Hi, Christina. Maybe I want to help ease a little minds. You see the bylaws, and anybody that's already gotten through most of them, believe me, I'm still going through them. It's a lot of work. We need a committee for this. And like I had said in the motion, it is going to be 1 voting member, 1 director, 2 co-chairs. Okay? And part of that is because this is a lot of information to go through, a lot of legalities. This isn't for, we want to make it so that the board can function, but also so it functions for the community. We need the community's input, because I misspell stuff, I forget to put punctuation, and this is kind of our little agreement with you guys, if that makes sense, within the board.
Okay, is there any more discussion on this motion to create a committee to amend the articles and bylaws? Okay, you ready for the question? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? So the motion to amend the articles and to create a committee to amend the articles and bylaws passes unanimously. So one more motion for a Bill of Rights.
Christina Swistag, President. I make a motion to create a committee which will create a member's Bill of Rights, be included into the bylaws. This committee will be co-chaired by Jared and by Builder Bill.
There's a motion on the floor to create a committee to create a Bill of Rights, made by Christina. Is there a seconder to this motion? Jack Jolorsis seconds this motion. Is there any discussion on this motion to create a committee to create a Bill of Rights?
Justin Davis, Treasurer. I like the slab rules that have been in place since I got here and way before I got here. You know, if you don't like your neighbors, you can move. If you ask somebody to leave their camp, they better. If somebody asks you to leave your camp, they better. Or, you know what I mean? Anyways, I think doing above and beyond anything besides dealing with the state is possibly a little self-serving. You know, the only reason this should even be in place is so that all of us keep doing what the hell we want without having anybody come down on us. And anything besides that or above that, I don't see the point. I like the slab rules the way they are.
I'd like to say something.
One thing I want to address real quick is that when this agenda was posted with the meeting date and it said about forming a committee for the Bill of Rights, a couple people gave us suggestions. We actually got a couple documents from people of what they thought should be in a Bill of Rights. We hadn't formed a committee yet, obviously, because we can't do that until we vote here. But unfortunately, somebody took one of the suggestions we got and posted it on the internet as a thing, and I don't know how to describe it any other way. That piece of paper you saw that says Bill of Rights, I think Kenny's waving it around. What Kenny is waving around is a suggestion of what should go in a Bill of Rights based on the fact that we said we were talking about it. It's just somebody's submitted suggestion because we are accepting suggestions. So, it was just a suggestion someone gave us. That's not even an official board document. So I'll pass this off to Bill.
Yes, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do it. That's what we're talking about. We're just making a committee to write one up right now. Now let me convince you too. When I was up here in our first meeting, there was a general meeting, and people came up and said, "How do we know you're not gonna pay us, charge us rent? How do we know you're not going to tell us where to live or how to live or what to do?" Well, I started looking at the Bill of Rights and I said, "Oh shit, that stuff ain't in there." And that's what we're talking about, a Bill of Rights here. We want to make that promise to you that we're not going to do those things. That's what this is about.
You should have had it written before.
If you have a business license, you have to deal with the authorities that control that. That's not us. What we can do is we can say, yes, this person has permission to do that business on this land. That's what we can do.
Who are you to say that?
No.
Ask it basket.
There you go, Twister.
If you have a question, please put it in the ask it basket. So,
That's complete bullshit.
okay.
Nobody's trying to take over your life. Nobody's trying to charge you rent.
It says right in the bylaws, you gotta pay your lease. Where? Get up there. Where does it say that? Give me my time, I'll get up right now. Where does it say that?
Now,
It does not say
find where
that.
it says that you have to have a lease.
I call point of order, please.
Right here, let me come up and say it.
It says that there can be a lease, but it doesn't say there has to be one.
No shit. So you have never be a lease.
And why use it?
There will be no lease, people.
You just admitted you had the right to charge
Yeah.
it.
Come on.
By the bylaw.
You think I'm here to...
Let me get up and call you. When I get up and call
Jack. Okay, there's a motion.
I surrender the floor. Nobody's
Well, Bill, you're out of order.
to say anyway.
You're going to surrender the floor to me?
Okay, the opportunity to ask questions is coming up next. Okay, there's a motion on the floor, and there's more discussion on the motion to create a committee to prepare a Bill of Rights.
When and where will the committee meet?
Who can answer that question? When and where will the committee meet?
Can we have the meeting at Bus Kitties?
Yeah, Kenny, you want to be on the committee for the Bill of Rights?
Yeah, put bus kids.
Okay, folks, I don't know if everybody wants to sit here until 8 o'clock tonight, and I'd like to get to the stakeholders' questions. You have a stakeholders' question coming up that will be opening up. We have a motion on the floor.
You've got a board member running his mouth.
You're on the committee, you can make sure we're doing the right
Okay.
thing.
That's right.
Bill, you're out of order.
Keep us in check, dude. Get on this committee.
Go back to business.
Okay. There's a motion on the floor
This is worth it.
to create a committee.
All you want.
I'm not
Jack,
going to pay it.
there's a motion on the floor to create a committee to create a Bill of Rights. Is there any more discussion on that motion? Any more discussion? Are you ready for the question? All those in favor of creating a committee to create a Bill of Rights, please say aye. Any opposed? Well, there's two opposed. So Marty is opposed and Justin is opposed. To to form a committee. Hmm?
Number 3 on the list over here, there's some green, it's different than the other.
Okay, so we'll reread the official motion so that it's understood. There are currently,
They obviously don't know what
there were 2 nays
taking private
and
land for public purposes.
how many of us here?
Own the land already, that can't change.
So there's 7 yes and 2 no. And Christina's going to read the motion.
I just want to, because we're going based off, and I just want to clarify because my wording is different, which is the official motion. I make motion to create a committee which will create a members Bill of Rights, be included into the bylaws. This committee will be co-chaired by Jared and by Builder Bill.
Thank you. Well, the motion has a majority, so it passes. Now we're at the stakeholders' questions, which I'm sure all of you have been waiting for. Later.
Point of privilege. I'd like to give people an opportunity to put questions in the Ask It basket and to let us off stage for 5 minutes to use the restroom.
Okay, there's a request to stay for 5 minutes, so some women can use the washroom. The board needs to vote on this. So, is there any objection? Yes.
Do we have to vote on the bathroom?
Any objection? Okay, so we'll have a 5-minute break.
Why